Good morning. I'm Gianni the Greek coming to you live straight from Las Vegas. It's Wednesday, July the 10th, and we got a really busy day. That's correct. In fact, today started late last night when I got a handful of WNBA overnights that I released to subscribers, 6 bets in all, where we split the action down between the money line and the point spread. I also got some information that I share with other traders. We'll get to that in WNBA and, of course, NBA Summer League. And there's a ton of Major League Baseball as we approach the final week before the All-Star break. Now, with that said, we always look backwards before we go forward. Transparency is first and foremost for myself, and I think this industry just really needs to do a better job of that. Let's just be honest. So let's look at yesterday. What was yesterday? The 9th. Oh, we had a lot of stuff with tennis. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like 6 and 5 overall. Probably turned a little profit. We pushed on the 4%. I think hit the other 4%. It's probably won a little bit. Couldn't have lost a little bit. Some along. No love lost, no love gained. We're still at the same over the last 7 days. Last 365 still sitting there pretty. And our season to date, yeah, we're still right where we were yesterday. So we're more or less a split. And you can always go back and look through these past videos where I went into detail about our risk management system. I'm not going to do that each and every day. Of course, although we do that for the Steam Room, that's for those subscribers. But, you know, we try to pass along as much information here as well. And more importantly, answer your questions and comments. Since we're not going to talk risk management, I could dive right in. Here are 3 WNBA totals that I received from one of the traders that I share information with. He moves for a group that bets WNBA, and they also bet, obviously, NBA and Summer League stuff. And then I choose whether I'm going to piggyback it, whether I'm going to share it with subscribers. So far, I've shared the Summer League stuff. I'll give that to you right now. We took Sacramento plus the 9.5, and we took Memphis minus the 7. So Sacramento plus 9, Memphis minus 7, both 3% plays. You know the risk management system. We don't bet 3% because we would have a 90% risk of ruin, which means we will double our bankroll about 10% of the time. We're going to lose it 90% of the time, even with an edge. Again, you control your risk of ruin once you have an edge. It's all up to you how great of a risk you want to take or how small of a risk you want to take. So the WNBA totals are as follows. 629 under 155.5 Atlanta, Chicago. 631 under 167 Washington, Indiana. And over 172 Las Vegas and Seattle. Those are Summer League WNBA totals, excuse me. I personally have not piggybacked them or used them for subscribers, but I did do the NBA Summer League and the overnights that I received in WNBA. I'll give them to you guys as well. They'll be the premium plays for today. We bet the New York Liberty on the money line, and then we bet the Fever minus 5 and also on the money line, and then the Las Vegas Aces minus 4 and also on the money line. So the way I did it was I split the bet up, going 2% on the money line and 3% on the spread for each of those. So that was Liberty, them just the money line, Fever, point spread and money line, Aces, point spread and money line. So that was 3% on Aces minus 4, 3% on Fever minus 5, 2% on Fever money line minus 235, 2% on Aces money line minus 195, minus 200. Those are premium plays straight off the card. We do have a handful of baseball as well. In fact, I bet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 Major League Baseball plays. Action, action, action. When you have an edge, that's what you want. You want to beg for volume. You want to, if you had a choice, you want to make 1,000 bets a day, not 5 bets a day. Unfortunately, there's not that many inefficiencies, but that's what we want when you have an edge. I keep bringing you back to that analogy. If I give you 2 to 1 on a coin flip, do you want to only flip it 3, 4, 5 times a day? Or you want to just flip it from morning to night with me? Remember, low volume, that's if you don't have an edge. That's how you protect your negative run. So there you go. You got 6 premiums in WNBA, and 2 in NBA Summer League. Let me see. Is there a baseball I can give you 2? Why not? We're feeling a little generous here. Let's go. Game 2, Minnesota game 2. Money line and run line. We bet Minnesota in game 2, money line and run line. And we also bet them first 5, money line and run line. So there's a little bit of Major League Baseball gold for you. Use it how you wish. Follow, fade, or ignore. And we're going to get right to these questions and comments today. Again, go down, smash that like button if you want me to continue doing these daily videos for you guys, especially when football comes along and we're going to get really, really busy. Smash that like button, share it, comment, help build this show. And I'll keep doing it, that's for sure. All right, let's dive right in. C-Dub14, thanks, Ace. Definitely interested in Blackjack seminar. Is there a minimum bankroll requirement to start? Actually, in Blackjack, it's like I said with the risk of ruin. It's pretty much the same. It depends what kind of risk of ruin you are comfortable with. You're going to break your bankroll up into units, and it's going to be based on your bankroll. So whether it's a $500 bankroll, $1,000 bankroll, or $1 million bankroll, it will be broken down into units based on risk of ruin, which I will explain if we have this seminar. In fact, I'm really pushing to have it. I think it's a great idea. I think I can hold probably 3 to 5 go-to meetings of about 2 hours each and have anyone that attends very efficient and dangerous card counter. It'll have all the necessary ammunition to be the favorite against the casino. It'll just be your job to get that practice in and make it work for you and fight those demons off that we all do when we're betting. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we're going to get that done. I got another surprise coming up for you guys. I'll probably be able to announce that in the next week. I just had a real good call this morning. So going to share that with you as soon as I get the green light and it's confirmed. All right. James, cute, my man. Would you play rated at local casino or unrated for counting cards? I was afraid of the back off for my local casino. Not rated. That's the one mistake I made. When you have a huge, like we had developed such a big edge because before I would go to a casino, I'll be real quick. I'll explain this when we have the seminar. What I would do first is I would go and I would set the trap. I would go for a weekend and I would play a negative progressive system. Immediately, they looked at me as the biggest. So they were going to let me bet because with a linear negative progressive, some of your biggest bets are coming on the very first hand, which no card counter is going to do. So that immediately put them at ease and said, oh, this guy, we'll let him bet whatever he wants because he's just chasing with negative progression. So that's what I did. And since I had such an edge, I should have never took the comps, but I got greedy because Stations was where we beat up a lot and they had the UFC at the time. And I wanted to go sit in the front and second row. And because of that, it got me jammed up. And I was taking all the promo chips. I was taking all the comps from all the casinos. I was taking the flights. I was taking the food. I was taking everything, dude. Everything. They were sending, like I said, promo chips and free bets every month, every month. One day every month, I would just drive around and it was just to turn in free bets. Like I swear to you, I had a folder and there was just free bets that they would send every month. Sometimes it was $100, $300, $500, $50, just free bets, free blackjack bets that they would just send me, and promo chips, free money if you play. And that is what pisses them off. But that also adds to your ROI. So because you'd be paying for a room, I'd be paying for a flight, I'd be paying for food. So all those things went into my ROI. That's why I'm not too mad at it, but I would have had more longevity had I not taken all the free stuff and I just wasn't getting rated. The flip side of that coin is as you go up in bet size, like if you're betting at the $5 table, $10 table, $15 table, $25 table, you can get away with it. Once you start moving up, and because if I'm going to train you, trust me, you're going to go from betting $10 units to betting $100 units to betting $1,000 units. I'm very good at this. And if this is the one thing that I will fucking destroy anyone that deals me cards, deal me blackjack, I will fucking destroy you. You have no chance of beating me at all, long term, none. But again, the problem is going to be, playing and getting away with it, which if you're taking all the comps gets difficult because they're paying attention. But when you go into the high limit, if you're going to buy in for 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, and you say, I don't want comps, that seems a little weird to them. I don't want rating. So that's going to set off sirens too. That's the negative. At low limit, sure. Don't take a rating. No one's paying attention to you. Make your money from the blackjack. You don't need extra ROI for the free shit. But once you get into higher limits, you're going to have to accept the free shit. And you're just going to have to by then you should be a lot better at mixing in some play that throws the eye in the sky off. I have a handful of maneuvers that completely throw the eye in the sky off where they're counting with you and you will do something opposite. And there's about a handful of decisions where the difference is negligible, but a card counter is always going to take the higher edge. There's some where I said we're taking side B, you just a little smaller, you're giving up some edges. A lot of card counters don't give up any edges. Me, for longevity, I've learned to give up some edges. So that's my advice. Low limits, don't get rated. Higher limits, you got to get rated, or else the eye in the sky is going to get involved. Bryce Miller, 3, strong interest in advantage class over here. I love it. You'll be here in person in October, even better. Listen, that's what I'm trying to set up. Please email Wager Talk support. Please tell them you're interested in Blackjack seminar. Please do that, because I want them to put it together for us. And I see no reason at all why we can't do it. In person's great, but we could even do this on a Zoom call. We could do this on GoToMeeting. It's very simple. All I need you to do is have a deck of cards at your house. That's it. And the rest is very simple. It's just going to be practice. So if you guys are interested and you could wake up Wager Talk, let them know of the interest, because I'm definitely want to do this, then let's set that shit up. Let's set it up and let's get some blackjack on because nothing would make me happier than knowing I got a bunch of disciples out there beating these guys up for not letting us play. Nothing would make me happier. All right. Ace, please speak more about VPN and not getting caught, as I thought this was violation of terms of service. I'm in KC, Missouri, and drive every day to place wagers in Kansas where it's legal, but sometimes costs me by missing best numbers. Would I be able to use VPN safely and not worry about violating terms of service? Listen, I use a VPN and I've never had an issue with the terms of service. Now, if you get caught breaking their rules, obviously they're going to handle it however their rules show that they're going to handle it. But with that said, how do you get caught using the VPN? If I don't know, I'm not technically savvy enough to answer that question, how to get away with using it. The only thing I know was I was told if I download ExpressVPN and I just go to Toronto when I place my bets and I'll have no problems. And I've had no problems. But I also deal with agents. So my situation with Pinnacle and the skin of Pinnacle that I'm betting into, even if they say, listen, I know you're up 8,000 this week, but you violated our terms of service, so we're shutting down your account and we're not paying you. We're just going to send you back your funds. My agent's going to have to pay me the 8,000. I'm not, regardless. But for that, I give him a percentage every time, for years that we've been working together. So that's the only thing I would say. Obviously, I'm not tech savvy enough to know how a casino could realize you're using a VPN. But I've used it for years and have had no problems. And even with regular books that I use, that I get locals, and I have guys that give me accounts all the time. And I'll have a kid in Missouri, I'll have a kid in Minnesota that'll say, hey, I got 3 accounts for you. I want to partner, but it has to look like it's coming from here. And I'll just set the VPN to Minnesota. And whenever I place a bet into those accounts, I just click it on Minnesota. The bad side is you can't really bot those. So I have to hand bet into those. And with such time sensitive stuff, sometimes it becomes more difficult. But that's the way I've done it. And I haven't had any issues. Like I said, I have ones that look like I'm betting from Jersey, ones that look like I'm betting from Cali, ones that look like I'm betting from Tampa Bay, ones that look like I'm betting from Toronto. And I've had no issues with it. John Frantantoni 6217. Thanks for answering my question on the soccer and draw parlay. Question regarding bankroll management. I use multiple books. Most have to be funded up front. Yeah. And one allows credit. Do I factor my credit limit into my bankroll or use whatever I'm up or down in that account? Example, 10K credit limit, but down 1.5K in that account. Is that my bankroll in the account plus 8.5K or minus 8.5K? Oh, I get it. So you have a 10,000 in credit and you're down minus 1,500. So there's 8,500 in credit, you're saying, left. Are you plus 8,500 or minus 1,500? Here's how I do it. I could only tell you how I do it. I have a bunch of credit accounts that provide more money than I plan on betting. Like what I mean is, like, the one account I have is $100,000 credit limit. Like I told you guys, my bankroll is based on a 400K bankroll. I bet between 1,000 and 5,000, and I'm comfortable with a 20% risk of ruin. But the only reason I'm comfortable with that is because I have a backup bankroll that's sitting getting about 6% interest. That just sits there. Hopefully I never have to use it. It's not great interest, but it's my security blanket. So I have that sitting there. But I may have 8 accounts. I may have close to $1 million in credit, probably at least 800,000, 8 to 900,000 in credit that I have. But I only base my bets on 400,000. That's what I'm comfortable with. So even though my credit allows me to say I'm betting with a $900,000 bankroll, I'm not comfortable losing 900,000. And I know my risk of ruin says that's going to happen. So I choose my bankroll and my risk of ruin, and I bet size accordingly. That's how I advise to use that credit account. Like, not just throw in, oh, now I have an extra 10,000, because that's money you're going to have to cover. If you would have put 10,000 in that account right yourself, then then that's your bankroll. But if you weren't intending to put a whole 10,000 in that, then I wouldn't. Like I said, let's say I have 8 accounts and each of them are $100,000 limits. So that gives me 800,000. I'm only betting as if I'm betting a $400,000 bankroll. So I don't need all that, but it's sitting there. So, because that's what they give me. But I don't base it that I'm on an $800,000 bankroll. I'm betting on a 4. And that's my advice. That's what I've done, and it's worked for me. But again, everyone has a different risk tolerance and everyone's life situation differs. All right, Ace, how do you feel about free double blackjack? You get a 9, 10, or 11. The dealer gives you a gold coin and doubles for you, but the dealer gets 22. The hands put no. Throw those games away in the trash. In the trash. Any deviation of blackjack has a higher hold for the house. That's a proven fact. There is no deviation of a table game where the house edge is lower. They're always higher. They create the illusion that you have a better chance of winning, but the hold house edge ends up being so much higher. You're not going to get better than blackjack. You're really not. Like even 6 deck, where the house has a 0.5% edge on you. That's 50 cents on every 100 that you bet. You're not going to find, that's all you have to overcome. Like in sports, we have to overcome 4.5%, 10 times the amount of blackjack hold. So it's a good game. You don't have to try to look for easier ways to play it. Because again, any deviation, I promise you, is going to be a way to get people to make sucker bets. And just like those side bets that they have at blackjack, where they say, oh, 5 to 1, 8 to 1. I don't even look at that. I never even look at those. All of that is just to increase the hold for the house. Even with a count where some, you can take advantage of some, because if you know the count's really, really, really high and the discard tray is also really high. So you know the ratio of high cards to low cards is just so great that the probability that you do get those cards needed to hit one of those bonuses is high. I know counters that do that and take advantage of some of those side bets. That's a different animal altogether. But as far as deviation of the game, no. Play the game. Play the game. It's beatable as it is. It has a memory. No other game on the casino floor has memory. Each time you roll the ball on roulette, it's a new game. Each time you roll the dice in craps, it's a new game. Each deal is not new. There's cards in the discard tray. This game's already been being played. That's the difference. That memory in the discard tray, those cards that have already been seen, that's what makes blackjack beatable. Don't look for anything else. I'm telling you now, I've tried it all. You're looking at someone who was in the casinos from 16 years old. And in Atlantic City, 5-6 years, being degenerate. Before I even came to Vegas, I was real deep in the gambling. So trust me, anything I could learn, I've learned. Any hustler I could be around, I've been around in every type of freaking game, from baccarat to blackjack to craps to roulette to slots. I've met advantage players in everything. The two that do the best, besides poker and sports, which is something different, is blackjack and slot, advantage slot guys that know how to play it. Anything else, stay away. Love you guys. Back on Thursday. Hopefully we have a good day.